Water service has been restored for many people in Forsyth County. A boil water advisory remains in effect for some areas, and now new issues are coming up, which is why Mitch Cameron, general manager of Go Green Plumbing, is here with us to talk about what happens sometimes when the water comes on. You've gotten a few calls.
We have gotten a few calls, yes. Bursted pipes, water leaks, we sure have.
Okay, so I've been seeing online a lot of social media posts, people talking about how they came home and they saw a busted pipe in their house. How does that happen?
So what happens is, again, once the water's out of the pipe, it is displaced with air. And of course, we all know, trying to go back a little bit to physics, air will compress a little bit more than water. So what happens is when they do restore the service, that air gets compressed. And unfortunately, it does exceed the maximum ratings for fixtures, materials, and of course, ages of pipes can't handle it as good. So yes, that little bit of extra air does add a lot more pressure to the system.
And of course, the age of your system probably makes a difference.
Of course, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if this were to happen to us, besides calling you, we should do a few things probably before you get there to kind of minimize the issue.
Of course, yes. A couple things you could do is just make sure to try and just notice the signs as far as if you're getting some sputtering. Also, just make sure you do know the age of your home, but you could also just try and check your crawl space, try to look at anything visual. Of course, look at any kind of discoloration and things like that. But of course, we're always here to help, and we'll be more than glad to come out and just check pressures and, of course, do visual inspections and just look at the age of the system with you.
All right, if your water is sputtering when you turn it on, should you then like turn off the main water valve or something?
Whatever makes you feel best, but yes, you could do that, or you could turn it back off. Say you turn it off at like a bathroom faucet, then maybe go to the bathtub and possibly turn it on there, because there the pipes and are a little bit bigger as far as where it comes out, and it will let a little bit more water out, and of course it will release some of that air.
Okay, so these water main breaks and things, they don't happen very often. But let's say there's another one that comes up in the next like couple of months. Is there something that we should do if we know that there's a water main break near our area?
Of course, yes. On most systems now, we do install what they call a pressure reducing valve. And what that does is it does exactly what it says. It reduces the incoming pressure from the city to a safe operating pressure for your home.
So we need to buy that extra or get that installed?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and how much is something like that, just so that people will know?
Depending on where it needs to be located, because of course you want it to protect the entire home's plumbing system. So wherever that does enter, whether it's a crawl space or a closet, they can vary from about $300 to $600, just depending on the ease of access and of course where you would want it to be located.
All right, so water main pipes breaking like that, they don't happen all that often. But I bet we, as consumers, residents, we make a lot of plumbing mistakes that we probably shouldn't make on the everyday. What are some things that we should stay away from or not do?
A couple things that you just shouldn't do is, again, like we just mentioned before, you really want a pressure reducing valve to help keep a safe pressure at your home. But then again, also, as far as any kind of water conditioning or water treatment, of course, that's always a great preventative thing for when any kind of foreign objects or something you don't want in your water because of a water main break gets into the system. That will help protect you from that also. And then,
Okay.
of course, you know, having regularly scheduled maintenances, just like you do with HVAC, to get them to look at your plumbing, and also because we could notice some visual signs that could help protect you in the future.
Yeah, I think people normally have like their AC checked, right? Because they want their
Mhm.
AC and their heat to work. But I think they think the plumbing, once it's installed, that's it.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. But again, there are some visual signs as far as being able to see discoloration in pipe. Again, some materials you can kind of touch them and see if it's starting to thin out or if it's starting to go bad on you. And again, that's one of those things where we can always provide options to take care of that, so you can take care of it for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, we want to do the preventative stuff and not the reactive stuff when it costs a lot of money and it costs a whole lot of stress. Mitch, we thank you so
Exactly.
much for your time and your expertise. And if you maybe need to watch this again, send it to somebody else who maybe needs to know about this whole pipe and water main issue. It's going to be in the Who Wants to Know section of our website.